Hello, welcome to the latest edition of Oh Brother with me, Paul Hanley.
And me, Steve Hamlet.
All right, Steve, you all right? Well, you well?
All right, I'm
all right. You're hanging in there.
Yeah.
Today's guest is, let's see, a bit of a Renaissance man. Let's see, producer, bass player, bit of singing, actor. Actor. We'll get on to that. I've seen your IMDb. I tell you what, I better say your name. So it's Mr. Simon Archer, known universally as Ding. How are you, mate? All right?
Yeah, man. You?
Good, thank you. Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah, so the actor bit, you played Glenn Matlock in 24 Hour Party People, I'm told.
Yeah. It's blinky, you'll miss it, but yeah, I did.
Well, it's less blinking you'll miss it than The Fall. They're on the cutting room floor.
The outtakes.
That was done the same day I was doing my bit. Mark was there doing his bit. Yeah. And he got cut out, didn't he? He's on the DVD.
Try to track down who played Steve in the film. Then he can say, you know the actor, Tom Cruise. He played me.
He's never been heard of again. The guy.
Yeah. He works in the subway in Civic Centre now. Never really took off for him. Right. So the first question we always ask on this is, when did you first come across The Fall? Then, so you're pretty much, how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking? If that's not
58.
Right, so similar age to me. I'm sort of 60, so they will have always been there for you, wouldn't they? If you came of age.
Oh yeah, from Witch Trials onwards. Yeah,
yeah.
I remember seeing you on the Granada thing where what's on there now, Industrial Estate. There's like some studio footage of.
Oh yeah. That was really early. That was like the first line of that, wasn't it?
That was probably me going, I like this. I think that's what my turn on was.
Yeah, I was the same, but my mum was horrified.
So what were you doing then? Stalking them for years?
after 15 years.
Binoculars out in Whitefield.
So how did you come into The Fall's orbit then? How did that work?
Mutual friend James Fennings introduced me to Mark. He brought him up. No, you don't know him. So? He's been name checked in a few songs later on in the timeline of things. So I was writing a bit of music with him, and he was a good friend of Mark's.
Right.
Well, until the end, and he brought him down to the studio to. Originally, he came down with the drummer Tom Head, and they did a bit of rehearsal. Yeah. In the studio when I had it in New Mount Street in Manchester, right in the city centre. Yeah. And he then came back to me, Mark, on his own with some poetry and asked me to do some sort of background noises, sort of washes. Yeah. And that came out as Panda Panda Panzer.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. So was that the first spoken word one, or was that False Nearly Man, was that first?
I think that was first. This was not the first one, no. I think it was the second one.
Right.
And basically he gave me enough poetry for me to run off about 17 minutes worth, and he went, yeah, that's great, Cock, but it needs to be 45 minutes. So I basically sort of flagged up that I might need a bit more poetry. So he came back and started recording more poetry with me for that, and we really hit it off pretty much straight away, to be honest. So I kind of bumped into him on the set of 24 Hour Party People. So he knew I could play bass. So it just progressed from doing the Panda Panzer to would I like to mix a Fall track, which was going to be on Country on the Click, and I said, yeah, I'd love to mix a Fall track. And within sort of one session of this mixing that I was doing for him, he fired the bass player and gave me the job.
Did he fire the bass player and then get you in, or did he fire the bass player to get you in?
He fired the bass player on my phone in front of me and then turned around and says, do you want to play bass, Cock?
Do we ask who the bass player was?
Yeah, was it?
It was Jim Watts.
Ah, right, okay. I tell you what, it's a shit business, isn't it? Hey, Jesus Christ. Hey. We're getting ahead of ourselves here. So when did you start playing bass then? So you were 16 years. Hey?
So it depends which end of the phone call you're on with that, doesn't it?
Yes. So, what did you start playing bass about 16 then?
I was younger than that, maybe 14. I've really gotten into the Stranglers, and kind of like John Jack Burnell was like, oh wow, I want to be like that. So I'd and Steve Hanley, a bit of that as well.
Oh yeah. I'm sure. Yeah. So you always.
I like how you put it in that order.
Always got to be in that order, mate.
It's in that order for him, to be honest.
For everyone.
Yeah. So always bass then, never guitar. You're not a slumming it guitarist.
No, I'm going to say no, but there's one on the wall there, and I can fresh chords on it, but I would never call myself a guitarist. I'm too clumsy.
Yeah, I think that's probably you, isn't it? I mean, it's a lot to handle, isn't it, any more than 4. I mean,
it's enough,
isn't it? Stretching it, aren't you?
Well, yeah, but a bass player's harder working than a guitarist.
Yeah, really, isn't it?
Well, it depends. Obviously, it depends how you define hard work, I suppose, isn't it? I mean, it's not the Burma Railroad, is it?
Do you know what? On our latest album, there's 3 drummers.
I know. I can only feel your pain, Steve.
Well, yeah, no one gives a thought to the poor old bass player.
In that scenario,
why would that make it harder for you?
Different drummer every other song.
like you listen to the drums.
I have no choice.
Well, the 3 of us beating shit out of it. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. But so, what was your first band then? What was the first band you were in?
It's called 10-Day Trial.
Okay.
And it was kind of gothy, sort of. Quite cultish. Well, death cult at the time, and just sort of that kind of school thing we did. And, we got a few gigs around town. Yeah. Playing places like Cloud9 and also a place in Bury. I can't remember the name of the place now. Just the usual small gig circuit.
It was massive in Manchester then, wasn't it? It gets kind of. It doesn't get written about. It gets kind of forgotten. It's all the Smiths, and then that's the end of it, isn't it? But there's loads of big goth scene in Manchester.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, Stone Roses were a goth band when they first started.
They were, yeah. that definitely doesn't get written about.
Well, it doesn't, but I remember I was there.
Yeah.
I've seen the photos,
Yeah. I thought the better image, I thought, when they had the bandanas, that flares thing never did it for me.
Well, you were there the first time.
I was there the first time, yeah, that's right, yeah. So, Able as Cain then, that was a pretty successful band. When was that?
That was 1987 onwards.
Right.
That was me learning how to be a sound engineer, basically.
Yeah.
And I've never liked the sound of my own voice, so I stuck with the singer from the goth band I had, and we were listening to. We'd started listening to bands like Fetus and Front 242 and Nitsa Red, also European scene, which is me not doing any of the Manchester stuff right there.
Yeah,
and we'd gotten into that in a big way, and I was gobsmacked that the Fetus stuff was just one guy on his own. So I was just going to try and get to that level myself.
Jim Thirlwell?
Yeah.
Was he in the Bad Seeds for a bit?
It's got some connection.
He was for a while.
Yeah.
So I was learning. So basically, I went on a sound engineering course, and being as friendly as I am, they let me stay in the studio overnight.
All right. Trustworthy, I think would be the word there.
Yes, trustworthy. But it was a really good sort of learning curve because you're locked in the studio, and if anything goes wrong, you either stop for the night and you're stuck there or do it naff all to do, or you solve the problem and get on.
Sort it out.
We'd basically just go in and we'd make a right racket for the night. At the end of it, there'd be, let's call it a song. And this was Triple AK. This was the start of it. And it got interest. We got really good reviews. And
were you playing everything then?
Pretty much, yeah. We had a third person in the band at the first place because he was quite rich and he bought a sound.
Did he have that on his CV?
He bought an Akai S900. Which was reason enough for him to be in the band as far as I was concerned.
He must have been rich because you buy an house with what you pay for one of them.
He drove a steamroller. Well, they earn a lot of money, but it's very boring work.
Yeah.
So we had him in the band as well because he's a nice lad as well. Don't get me wrong, but I'm learning how to use his sampler.
If you're listening, you were integral.
Yes. Brendan.
Jim Watt's not listening.
I'll see who else I can piss off in a minute for you. Triple A. So we did that 87. We put a couple of records out between 92, and then it all kicked off properly that in 2010 when a German label wanted to reissue it all. And I'm like hearing stuff from 80s. I've just learned how to produce and engineer, and I'm like, you're not reissuing that. I'll redo it if you want. So kind of, hey, I phoned Paul up, hey, we're getting the band back together kind of thing. So we did that in 2010, and then just because of the stuff I was doing in other work, I managed to get some really tasty support slots. So we did quite well. We supported the Pixies. We ended up supporting Red Hot Chili Peppers on a stadium tour. It was ridiculous.
I remember that. Yeah.
Well, you and the borrowed synth and the singer, was that it? Why did you fill the stage?
That's exactly the problem I had, Paul. So I turned it into a 5-piece band for that. We got to pull it. Right. Literally was looking at how the frigging hell are we going to fill the stage that size. So I had lots of video stuff going on. We had like projector screens and everything. But I brought a guitarist and a drummer and my girlfriend at the time in on keys as well. So we turned into a 5-piece band. It was rocking. It was good fun.
Yeah. I believe you've got an Abel's Kane tattoo. You must be one of your favourite bands, isn't it?
Absolutely.
There you go. See, there you go. You've not got a fall tattoo, have you?
Not yet. You should say that. I've been looking at. There's a couple of tattoos I've got lined up. One is a fall one, but can't make my mind up on what to do with it. What I know I'll have it.
Yeah, I'll have it. Yeah. I've got just the place
between both cheeks. We were all thinking it.
Painful, that I would imagine. Yeah. So, if you joined around the time of the Real New Fall LP, so what happened there? Because did he scrap the whole album then?
Jim Watts is going to be flaring up again. Basically. When I got asked by Mark to mix some songs, he wasn't happy with mixing that had gone on. And
who if we're not going to piss anybody else off, who was mixing it?
Jim.
Grant?
Say again?
Was it Grant Showbiz?
I think it was Grant. Yeah, I'm skirting.
Love you, Grant. If you're listening. Love your work.
Big mistake, Grant. It was a big mistake.
Well, what they'd done, if it was they'd gone and got it mastered without letting Mark sign off on the finished mixes.
I imagine that would be enough for him to say.
No matter what it sounded,
whatever it sounded like.
Well, right there you go. So that's exactly what happened. He's completely and utterly said no to everything they'd done and sacked it off. Sacked Jim. He probably sacked Grant temporarily at the time there as well because he got me to do all the mixing. So I know both versions are floating around. You can hear the original one still floating around. The one I did was somewhat destructive because most of it was like, get Jim off it, get Jim off it. Like, there's a couple of tracks with no bass at all because he literally just removed him. And then there's others where he asked me to redo it.
Right. I always thought we should have more songs with no bass on, to be honest. I mean, it's vastly overrated. I must listen to that album. Right, so you're on that one.
I'm on that one. I've got a guitar playing credit on that.
You produced Heads Roll, I believe, as well, Fall Heads Roll. That's a great album. Yeah,
I did, yeah. I just basically was in the fall.
Yeah.
I got headhunted by PJ Harvey.
Yeah.
And it, at the time when they first approached me, my initial attitude was "fuck off! I'm in the fall. What the hell, you know?" But we were on tour. And in Newcastle it was really snowy and icy. and Mark had gone out first thing in the morning and slipped on the ice and broken his leg. And some Geordie woman tried to help him up, and he's like, get off me, get off me. So she just dropped him and broke his hip.
Oh my God, yeah.
Well, this was halfway through the tour. They were due to go to the States maybe 5 weeks later, and Mark was basically in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And particularly...
They went, didn't they?
Huh?
They did go, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, they did, but I didn't.
Right.
He went while he was wheelchair bound.
Yeah, he did the
tour America. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Him being wheelchair bound kind of pushed me over the edge to erring towards taking the PJ Harvey job.
Right, okay.
Right. And how did Mark take that then? Because he was never one for being not keen on people playing with other bands.
Absolutely. Well, so the first thing he said to me was, right, you're in the Fall now, cock, you don't play in any other band. That was literally the first thing he said to me.
Yeah.
And within a year, I'm like, actually. I went round to his house, and he was bedridden in the front room. And I'm showing the age of this one. I went around with a huge bag of videotapes of films for him to watch as a softener, and basically buttered him up and hit him with that. PJ Harvey wanted to borrow me for a year. This is what they were saying, and I sort of, I'll go out for a year. I'll fly the Fall flag, and and then I'll come back. And he's like, yeah, all right. He was actually conversation somewhat there, but ultimately it was a positive, all right.
Wow, he must have liked you.
Yeah, but when I came back, he went, you're not on fucking bass anymore. Can't be a producer now, but
I mean, a year's a long time in them days, wasn't it?
So I did it. And when I came back, he said, no, you're not playing bass, you're producing. I literally finished with PJ in December, and then really early January flew out to New York, and we were there for a month doing Four Legs Roll.
Wow. Right. So I need to ask you this. What's the difference being the bass player in the Fall and being the producer? How does that, as an experience?
Right. As an experience, it's far more pleasant. Because if you're in as you'll know this yourselves, if you're in the band, you're fucking target number one. You're on the front line. Absolutely going to get it in the neck no matter what. In the producer role, he'd fuck the band off and it'd be just me and him in the studio.
Right.
If it's just you and him, he's no need to play up. So he's just, we did get on. We genuinely, I do class him as a really good friend. So
do you think that's what it is then? It's because when it's just the two of you, there's no need to put any
exactly
on.
That, yeah. And we'd go out for a drink and we'd be fine. And then a fan would come over and I'd be number one dick on the planet for 10 minutes. The fans there. When the fans fucks off, we go, sorry about that. Why can't we just carry on chatting? So as long as you understood that, the moment there's going to be a third party there, he's going to target you as being the foil. It's fine. I kind of got it. It was funny and used
to ask what was it like playing with PJ Harvey though.
It was absolutely fantastic. Really, it's probably my favourite tour I've ever done, that one. But certainly took me out of my comfort zone because you're not just punking it up in that. The Fall, you're getting away with playing the same thing for 8 minutes. PJ's structures are far more complex. It made me develop as a musician very quickly getting that job.
Was it all? How do you learn other people's songs then? Do you read music or do you just listen to the record?
I just stick it on and play it over and over again and listen carefully. I've always done it that way. All the session jobs I've got, all they've ever done is sent me the tracks and go learn these.
Right. Okay. Right.
I seem to be able to do that.
So did you have to learn? So did you know what you'd be going to play? And it wasn't like joining the Fall and the set's completely different from the night before. Was it pretty structured?
I'd learn a pool of maybe 30 songs, and you'd be playing 22 of them a night. So yeah, and then halfway through the tour, I think we learned another 6 or 7 just to freshen it up a bit.
Right. Okay.
But yes, it was more structured in that. I'd know we never got. The only time she ever dropped one on us with, "Oh, we're going to play this," was a fall song because she.
Right. Was that Johnny and John?
And Johnny, yeah, and we had Ben floating around at the time. He'd come on holiday, and so she got him up on stage, and we learned a cover of that. But that's the only time she actually threw a quick swerve ball in there in any shape or form.
Right. Okay. Because I have visions of her being like sort of proper musicianly sheet music kind of. Is she not like that then? No.
No. But I mean, if you've seen and hear her talking, she's very demure, kind of quiet. And then she'll go in a corner and put a guitar on and turn around, and it's like there's another person in the room. It's
wow. Just a guitarist.
Yeah, she's great. She's it's got what you call it, X Factor, I suppose. But when you put,
of course it is. Yeah. So, which do you prefer then? I mean, I presume you need both, do you, to be sort of creative and writing it yourself and doing other people's stuff? There's quite a different kind of feel to both, isn't there? Which do you prefer?
Absolutely. Yeah, do I prefer? Well, I never make any money doing my own stuff, Paul. So I suppose I have to go where the money is. There. I like a mix. I like it to be varied. If I was doing the same thing over and over, I would get really bored. So in an ideal world, I'm at home for 9 months in the studio and I'm away for 3 months touring. You know, if I can get that balance, I'm happy.
So how did you go in lockdown then? Big crackers. Well, everybody went to big crackers in lockdown, didn't they?
I locked myself down in the studio and I was going to write an album, and it just never happened. I just couldn't. There was nothing there. There was just no.
Yeah.
Come down here. I'm in the studio now. Turn all the gear on. I'd load up the software, and there'd be nothing. There was just. I ended up watching shitloads of box sets and crawling the walls.
It's funny that, isn't it? You would think that was. I found that a bit similar. You've got all day now to do something creative, and your brain just turns to bloody porridge, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think there was that constant level of worry going on, and indignation at being told no to basics. You know, it's just not conducive to being creative. Well, not for me anyway. I literally wasted. I feel like I wasted a year. I'm not happy with
I think the whole bloody world wasted a year, didn't they? Apart from Boris Johnson, who had the time of his bastard life, but that's a different. Yeah, that's a different. So the other one is that after PJ Harvey, how did you then get involved with the Pixies?
So while we're touring with PJ, we did. That was 2004, and that was the year the Pixies had reformed. They were doing a lot of festivals. PJ was doing a lot of festivals. So it must have been about 7 or 8 that year where Pixies were top of the bill and we were second top or third top. So we were around them that year.
Yeah.
And so you've jumped straight to Pixies. I worked with Frank Black before I worked with the Pixies.
Oh, did you? Right, okay, yeah.
So how did that come about then? Right, so in 2007, Frank Black sort of says, right, I want to put together an English punk band. And he said to his agent, put some feelers out, I want some musicians for an English punk band. And the agent is PJ Harvey's agent as well, and said immediately to him, oh, no, you can get on bass. Me. And that's what happened. I basically got an email from his, I found it in my junk mail. At first I thought it was a joke. It was like, hi, I'm Richard. I manage Frank Black. Would you be interested?
Yeah, I never checked my junk mail. That's
why you missed the call.
Junk mail, Steve.
It was the same when Bill Wyman left, wasn't it?
And literally the email saying, would I like to do it? And there was no audition. I'd been offered the job straight away because he remembered me from seeing me on that tour.
Right, okay.
So I've literally got sent. It was supposed to be. He is one who threw one in the works for me because the tour we were supposed to be doing was 10 years of him as a solo artist, and he got this album out, 10 years, the best of Frank Black. So I got told to learn this. So I did, and then when I turned up to rehearse, the first thing he said, well, yeah, I'm not really bothered about touring that. I've got this new album. He's very markish here. I've got this new album. I want us playing this. So I'd had like a month of learning. I was all right at his solos, the stuff I'd learned. But then got dropped with another 10 songs. during a short period of rehearsal time to get them up to scratch.
Right.
Yeah.
Was that during that work? Was that kind of quite exciting?
Angst. I'm used to it. Yeah, but pressure helps. It kind of, if you.
I think so. Yeah.
So, what kind of places was he playing then at that time?
No, but what do you mean, Cap? About 1,000 a time. Yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't doing any Pixies. He wasn't doing any Pixie stuff.
No Pixie stuff. It was all his solo stuff. So did a European tour, a couple of UK dates, couple of dates in the States, and became friendly with Frank Black from there. Me and him are good mates as well now.
Is he all right?
Led to the Pixies. The Pixies, when they were recording in 2013, so just a few years here, Kim Deal had gone down to Rockfield with them and started recording.
I remember that, yeah.
She walked out 2 weeks into the session and just went home. So they were booked in for 6 weeks. She'd gone after 2 weeks. So I got a phone call again. Hi, Ding, it's Charles. Would you be interested in coming playing bass on a Pixies album, coming down here and cheering us up? So I was going to say no to that. So I did. Like 2 days after the phone call, got driven down to Rockfield and ended up playing bass on a Pixies album.
How was that in terms of? Because I mean, then she was kind of synonymous with the band, wasn't she? So it must have been quite a bit of pressure. It's like taking over from Pete Hook, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. If it ever gone to a live, this is obviously I'm down there playing on the album. I'm thinking, shit, they're going to want me live, and that would have been a problem then. And I'm already thinking, well, I can't do her vocals.
Just give us a bit of "Here Comes Your Man" while you're here.
Yeah, big squeeze. So it didn't really. I didn't really sort of feel it because I knew it was just going to be a studio session. No one's ever going to see me doing that. It was just the recordings.
Did you have any freedom to do anything, or were you just told what to play? Or
I had freedom, and more than freedom. There was 12 songs, and I think Kim had played on 5. So I went down there and I played on the 7 she hadn't played on. And then they had discussions while I was there, and they decided to remove her off the 5, and I did the other 5 as well. I know.
There seems to be a thread with you, doesn't it?
Yeah. Hey, we need a hatchet job here. Someone dead man's shoes, get dinging.
A bit like that.
Yeah. You didn't have to ring her up and say
your man's going to be leaving soon. I can't remember what was I saying.
So you did the whole album. So you did all the stuff that she played on.
Yeah. So it was basically they decided, she's out. She hadn't done any vocals, and that was, they got a bit of a clue she was not happy because she wouldn't sing. They kept on asking her to do vocals, and she kept on not doing it. So I think the band made a decision that she's gone. Let's not have her on it at all. There's no point in having her on playing bass on 5. Let's just cut our losses here. Because I think they saw that maybe down the line, if they'd left her on it and then she decided to kick up a fuss a bit later down the line, they'd have been out the studio and a bit fucked.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So how did the credits work on that album? Is it all credited to him, or did they split it between the band, or how did the Pixies do the credits?
Credits? What? As in
writing credit?
I ain't got any songwriting credits, and I didn't do any songwriting. They were there, it was play the bass, and I had the freedom to do a little flurry here and there of the, that was it.
Is it a good album? I mean,
I like quite a lot of songs on that album. Yeah, it's not a fan's favourite. It was the first one they'd done since reforming. It was like, because when they reformed, they were going around doing greatest hits, and all Charles could do was new stuff. And Kim seemed to be stuck in, let's just do the greatest hits and take the money and walk away. Yeah. He wanted to progress the band and keep going, which he's since done.
He has, of course. Yeah.
but that's what, when I was touring with him as a solo artist, the album he'd done was blatantly obvious. It was blatant. It was a Pixies. He did an album called Bluefinger, and if you listen to it, those are Pixies songs. That's
right.
what he wanted that to be a Pixies album, and he vocalized that quite a lot. He was trying desperately to get the Pixies to record new stuff and move forward, and Kid wasn't all for it.
Right. There was a bit of bad blood there, I think, wasn't there? I think, as it turned out, sounds like it.
Yeah, I think time's a great healer. I think they're. They're not spatting at each other anymore. I think they just get on with it.
They used to do Big New Prince, didn't they? The Pixies when they reformed.
Yeah, and I had to. They did until I got told by Mr. Smith to phone them up and tell them to stop playing Big New Prince.
You can't stop someone doing a song, can you?
Unless.
Can't you, Paul? Okay.
Blimey.
I promise they did stop.
Christ.
Yeah, well, you know what Mark's like. He just took exception to it. He didn't want him to do it. I don't know why. I'm like, think about the PRS, mate. It's going into your bank account. Yeah. Tell him to stop. So I did.
Blimey. That's a bit harsh.
No sense. No.
Well, anyway. So, what are you up to these days? Are you still working with Blossoms, by the way?
Just stopped. I'm working with Chameleons now.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
How's that going?
Oh, great. I'm stage managing them. So that's how I'm getting out on the road a bit. I'm literally on Wednesday today. I'm off on Friday. Doing it.
Okay. Hang on, I've leapt forward a bit here. What did you do after the Pixies then?
Oh, right. So after Pixies, 2013,
you did some work with the Fall, didn't you?
Yeah. I worked with the Fall like on near enough every LP from Country on a Click onwards. There's only Reformation I've got no credit on. Every other album I've got some kind of credit. I either did a lot of it or a tiny bit. And it was between me and Grant. He kept on sort of shuffling between me and Grant, and one he did with Domino, he got the guy who did the Arctic Monkeys to produce it. But he and I, because of our rapport, I'd end up recording vocals with him a lot. So usually the minimum all I've done is track vocals with him. And then there's a few where, if you want my honest opinion, I'm undercredited on what the record sleeves say. There's a
get away.
Never. That is unheard of.
I'm afraid to say. Mark would be in my life and then out my life and in my life, and it's throughout. And after the Pixies, I got another job in a band I really love, Red Lorry, Yellow Lorry. Started playing with them. And we've recorded an album.
Did you have to start the bass?
No, he left. It was one of them. I went to see them play at a gig in Keighley, and they all smoke. So I ended up in the smoking corner with them. I was just chatting and so like really enthusiastic and just saying, you should tour and this and then basically I didn't know, but the bass player had already told me he wanted to leave. So about a couple of weeks after that show, I got a phone call saying, would I like to come and audition for him? I'm like, yeah, fucking damn right. So I went up to Leeds and auditioned and got the job. And we recorded an album then, which never came out. It's literally getting released next year. I've just started I'm making a bit of a furore about it now because...
why didn't it get released, you know?
That's a good question, isn't it? The singer... Chris, his mum was really poorly with dementia and got to the stage where he literally became a full-time carer for her. And he was a bit of he won't mind me saying this, he was a bit of a depressive to begin with. Your mum dying of dementia will bring that on big time. She took 9 years to go.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah,
that's awful.
Yeah, so that's what really killed the band off, really, because he wanted a good place to do the music, and disappeared socially completely. Still has really. So the album was mixed never got mastered, and we just sat on it because we were waiting for some kind of reason to be working on it anymore and to see Chris, and we didn't.
Right.
And then,
will you play with them when it comes out? Do you think?
No, it's not. That's not happening. Definitely not. I've been asked so many times. We've been offered tours. We've been offered gigs. It's not going to happen. Chris does not want to do it.
Oh, okay.
And no Chris, no lorries. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I did that, and then I joined 1919, another Leedsy goth band. Because their bass player left and they were looking for a replacement, and the lorries weren't doing anything, so I joined them, and I'm still in them. We're still playing.
Yeah. So you had the studio all that time as well, did you?
I've had a studio since 1992.
Yeah. So where is it now? Is it still in Salford?
Yeah, I'm right on the border of Salford and Manchester. I've got an M3 postcode. It's a Salford address.
I don't think we were in this one, were we? But
well, that's on the border of Salford and Manchester, isn't it?
No, you went to my last one, I think, the one in the square.
That's right. Yeah.
No, I moved 9 years ago from there to a purpose-built building. There's 3 of us in here. There's 2 recording studios. Upstairs, we've got a DJ who does his own little thing. So the whole building's purpose-built recording studio. So the ground floor is the live room, and then we've got 2 control rooms on the first floor. Me and a bloke called Christoph. We share in the live room. I've been doing that. I've been working with him for like 26 years now.
Right. Okay. So that's your main sort of job now. Would you say, or?
Yeah.
I was going to ask, is it difficult to run a business in a sort of medium-sized studio these days? What with, the amount you can do at home, is it a difficult thing to keep going?
Very much so, yeah. Prior to lockdown, I would go out around Manchester quite a lot to little gigs and try and lure bands in. And then after lockdown, that whole social scene for me seems to have disappeared. So I've kind of spotted getting new acts in to record since then has been quite difficult. But I've got a bit of a reputation, I suppose. People do come and hunt me down. So
yeah. Clearly, anytime a band needs a bass player, you're on the first on the phone, aren't
you? So I think I'd struggle if I didn't have the live stuff going on as well. Like the comedian stuff's like financially important. The fact that it's kind of bolstering up the studio work. But
and we have had a few tour buses off you.
Yeah, tour buses. Yeah. Of course.
I've just wrapped that up. I'm not doing that anymore.
Oh, have you? I was going to say the CD, the DVD player didn't work in that last one.
Them lights in the back were a bit bright.
Picking on all the major things there. It's a thankless job, that one. But again, that did pay.
I can imagine. I imagine. I get the impression people in bands aren't the most responsible of people. I might be wrong there. I know it's a bit of an out there.
We were.
Well, we're bloody old men. But we get in a van and tidy up. But I'm thinking a lot of bands aren't exactly.
No, they're not.
They don't treat it like their own home, or maybe they do. Or maybe they do.
They well do. It wasn't a particularly a fun business to run, that one. Again, but financial necessity at the time, that kind of bolstered up.
So are they a pain in the arse, bands then? And if you're running a split bus business, are they worse than they are if they're in the studio? That's a good question.
I'd rather let them run riot in a vehicle of mine, that's for sure. Yes.
I can see that.
Okay. Yes. So you're good with working with bands then? You're a good producer. I mean, you're not going to say I'm shy, but is that the quality you pride yourself on, getting
Absolutely,
the best out of?
I am a good producer, yeah. I'm afraid to say that these days. I've been doing it since '87, so if I ain't any good now, it's fucking something seriously wrong, isn't there? Yes.
Well, I don't know. Things have changed a lot, haven't they, in that time?
Yeah.
Production-wise and everything. Production-wise, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. I learnt on tape. So you can start there.
Still had it on tape with a razor blade and a bit of chalk when you started.
Yeah. Yeah,
that was a stressful business, that was, wasn't it?
That was one of my exams, a spoken word thing on tape with coughs and sputters, and you had to literally snip the tape and get rid of them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But I mean, it's laughable now when you look at what you can do with an audio.
You could tell me. When you do that and you say we're going to cut this, we're going to cut a bar and a half out of it. Do you make a copy and then cut it, or is it if I fuck this up, you've lost?
No copies. Well, on the 24-track tape, no. On a quarter inch, you could copy that. You could copy that just to be safe on a master. Yeah. But if you're actually cutting the structure of the song whilst mixing it, no, you're actually cutting. You cock it up.
I bet you're gutted now. It's all digital. So, in terms of producer, how much of it is technical knowledge and how much of it is wrangling people? Do you reckon then? Getting the best out of singers. That's a good, How do you get the best out of Marky Smith, for instance? Just plucking a name out of the air.
It's a difficult one, Mark, because he was not a straightforward artiste.
Right.
He hadn't learned songs and verses and choruses so much. It would be quite often throw down. With Mark, you record him 4 or 5 times. None of those would be the same thing. There might be a little bit that would tie up in the same place. And then it would be compiling one composite vocal and then doing your best to try and get him to perform against that to try and strengthen it up and double it.
Right.
But Mark's not the best example for how to get the best performance.
No. So what about normal vocalists?
In the later years, we're talking about it, aren't we?
It's down to person. You've got to sort of know the singer. You've got to have some time round the singer before you start, working out whether you're going to bully them or whether you're going to coax them or whether you're going to butter them up with, flattery and it's not a straightforward question.
Start putting you on the spot here. I do apologise.
You're not putting me on the spot. There just ain't one answer that fits every person.
I suppose that's the key to being a good one, is that you can adapt to whoever it is, I suppose.
Adapting is certainly a big part of my job. I have to. If you're in the studio with the band, you're kind of in the band for the day for a little bit because you're literally in everyone's corner telling them, So you've got to fit their chemistry pretty quickly. Yeah. That's probably why, like the clients I've got, I've got a lot of repeat clients, and I think it's because I'm good at doing that, getting in, understanding what it is they're trying to do and helping them get to that, and then throwing my own 2 pennies in along the way. Yeah. I think I can improve it for them.
Yeah. So is it more important or less, or the producer's role now that people can record themselves, can't they? There's something more you have to give them, isn't there?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's what's making it harder and harder in the 21st century, I suppose. Anyone with a laptop thinks they're a sound engineer because they've got... I suppose there's quite a few people have come to me, I've done it myself, and they'll play your mix and you're thinking, this is bloody diabolical. Because it's just, it's just wrong on every level, literally. Yes. No pun intended levels. So sometimes you have to kind of go, well, let me have a go at that. And then you turn it around and sort of go, well, this is how I think it should sound, and blow them away with,
I was going to say, do they see it?
So I'm pretty good at blending sounds.
Yes.
Experience, I suppose, is the answer.
Yeah, that's a difficult thing, though. How do you get experience if you start off not very good? How do you get experience to become very good?
Well, 30 years ago it was a lot easier because there weren't that many people with computers who could do it. So
yes. Yeah. So how did you get into the whole digital side of it? Did you just pick it up as you went along? I mean, you can't leave someone alone in a studio overnight and let them learn digital recording, can you?
Well, that wasn't digital. That was 2-inch tape. So how did I learn the digital side of it? Youth and keen interest. So it was developing each week. So I started off with an Atari ST that's like a games computer. It had MIDI ports in it. And then there was an 8-track tape machine you could hook up to that and put some time code on it. So you get 7 tracks of tape and you sequence stuff. So you could put a dance tune together and then record guitar and vocals on the 7 tracks of tape, and then the computer could actually record the audio. So I ended up buying a decent Macintosh at the time, a decent Apple, and getting a system that could record. Just doing it, Paul. Reading articles and trying it out, lots of hours on my own writing music, and then realizing I could actually record somebody else very quickly because. So
what's next then? You're out on tour at the end of the week.
I'm out with the Chameleons for 10 days, and I'm in the middle of doing 2 albums here in the studio. I've got the Inca Babies doing a new album.
Speaking of Manchester golf, bloody Nora.
Harry.
And who else?
How long they been reformed then?
I'm on my second album with them. They've got one just getting released. It's this week. Ghost Mechanic 9. That's literally out this week, and then they've started. We're in the early stages of this new one. The drums are down and some of the guitars, no vocals.
Right.
So that was bass. No bass yet. There is some bass down, not all of it. He's cheating. He's doing some stuff on the electric guitar and using an octaver. I know, Steve. It's all wrong.
Why? That's not the question. Why would you do that?
He wants to.
Fair enough. Can't give it that, can you? No problem.
There's no point arguing with it. Facilitate it,
Yeah. Brilliant. Well,
I've got Chris Bridget in doing a new album as well.
Okay.
Cold Water Swimmers.
Friend of Simon's, that's narrowed it down. He knows Simon Wollstonecraft. That's half of the Western Hemisphere, isn't he?
Yeah, a big friend of Simon's, yeah.
He was at the Mark Hoyle thing.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Right,
just had an album out on it.
Fantastic, yeah. All right, well, I think we're about wrapped up there, mate. It's lovely to speak to you. I hope everything goes all over the Chameleons.
Yeah,
Say hello from us.
I will do.
All right, mate. Take care of yourself. We always start off with how did you first in the pub. We always end up with, we must get a pint next time we're in the same room.
Absolutely.
All right, mate.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Oh Brother. You can find all our previous episodes on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be hosted at shows.acast.com/o-brother. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like. Tell your friends about us. Episodes are released every second Friday, so watch for the next episode in 2 weeks. See you next time, and remember, if you're driving, take your car. Ta-ra.